Get nine. Fuck. Motherfucker.
Hello and good evening, America. Welcome to some more NASCAR Cheez Cup Series action for race 3 of 36. It is the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K at Phoenix International Raceway. Last week we saw Sweet Tooth take home the victory in a daring last lap pass against Bernie Sanders, not Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump. But this week we take to the barren landscapes of Phoenix to see who exactly can tame this track today. But before we find that out, we got to take you through the starting lineup. On pole today is Corbin Forrester in the number 24. Starting next to him will be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Third place is Tails. Starting next to him will be Jack Black. Next in line is Brad Pitt, who starts next to Bernie Sanders. Next in line is Tommy Joe Martins, who starts next to the 51 of John Popper. David Bowie is next in line, starting next to the Bee Gees. Jake from State Farm will be beside Buster Rhymes. Sweet Tooth, last week's winner, will be starting next to Judge Judy. Trent Reznor in the 83 will be starting next to Mary Poppins. Aaron Carter in the number 55 will be starting next to Larry the Cable Guy. Next in line is Phil Collins, who will be starting next to What If Racing. Next to them will be Vin Diesel, starting next to Dale Earnhardt from 1970. Gibby Hayes, who missed last week's race, will be starting next to Barack Obama. MC Hammer will be starting right next to Donald Trump. Slim Shady will be starting next to the 33 of Elvis Presley. Jesus Christ himself will be starting next to Janet Jackson. Almost messed up there. Justin Allgaier will be starting next to Winnie the Pooh. Bruce Willis will be starting next to Benjamin Franklin. Keanu Reeves, our points leader, will have a lot to overcome in today's race as he starts way in the back next to CM Punk. Behind him is the 48 of Brock Lesnar, starting next to Greg Graffin. And rounding out the field will be Rob Halford, starting next to the 98 of Susan Boyle. It's sure setting up to be an exciting race today. Excitedly, we await the command to start engines. Soon enough, these cars will be racing side by side for 78 laps. And there goes the pace car, Corbin Forrester, with his first career NASCAR Cheez Cup Series pole position start. Aerial coverage today provided by Smithfield Foods as the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K is about to be underway in this race 3 of the 2016 or 17 NASCAR Cheez Cup Series season. The pace car is off and the field is now in the hands of Corbin Forrester. They are off to the races. Green flag is out. Corbin Forrester takes a strong lead as they come through turns 1 and 2. Tails makes a move on Arnold Schwarzenegger for second. Corbin Forrester has a massive lead, so we'll take a look back here in this action. Brad Pitt, who has had 2 poor weekends before now, is looking to rebound and get some good finishes here today at Phoenix. Next behind him is Tommy Joe Martins, as well as David Bowie moving up through the field as they complete lap 1 of 78, as in David Bowie's car number. We take you further through the field as Jack Black makes a move on Bernie Sanders. They are still side by side. They're going really slow. Was there an accident, or is this just how slow they go through these corners? That must just be how slow they go through those corners. Corbin Forrester has a commanding lead over Tails in second. Third place is Brad Pitt. Tommy Joe Martins is fourth. They go really slowly through these corners. Arnold Schwarzenegger way outside and is going to be swallowed whole by this field. David Bowie gets past. Jack Black gets past. Bernie Sanders is doing all he can to help that number 1 of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he does not appear to have a good setup to be racing on the outside line. He powers back against Jack Black. Corbin Forrester continues to lead. Lots of action here early on in this race as they slide through turns 1 and 3 or 4. Can't count today. John Popper ahead of the Bee Gees. And the field appears to be starting to become a bit strung out. Probably the most exciting battle on the field is in this section of the track as they are side by side. What If Racing against Mary Poppins. Phil Collins with a push from behind. let's drop back to our points leader, the 16 of Keanu Reeves, who is at the back of the field trying to just survive at the moment, looking to not get into any incident that could end his day early. Rob Halford has moved up a couple of spots, but Susan Boyle does not appear to be able to get her groove on at the moment. Brock Lesnar up a few spots. Tails has started to catch up to the number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Way back is the 46 of Brad Pitt. Our closest competition to the two leaders. Tommy Joe Martins and David Bowie round out the top 5 as they are single file all the way through turns 3 and 4. David Bowie potentially looking to make a move on that number 44 of Tommy Joe Martins. And that was not what I wanted to see at all. Up front, it's still Corbin Forrester ahead of Tails. They are way out in front of Brad Pitt, though, and the rest of this field. It appears that those two have fantastic cars this weekend. Arnold Schwarzenegger with a move underneath that 78 of David Bowie, who has not had the season that we would expect from someone such as David Bowie. Arnold Schwarzenegger hasn't either. They have been having difficult seasons, to say the least. But to say the absolute least would be Brad Pitt, who has possibly had one of the most unlucky seasons thus far, getting a lap down in the What the Fuck 500, only to have seemingly one of the more powerful cars towards the end of that race, as well as California, when he was caught up in a couple of incidents over the course of that race, which caused him to finish several laps down. Will Brad Pitt rebound this week? He looks to be doing exactly that right now in that third position, following the number 19 of Tails and the number 24 of Corbin Forrester, who have gotten out to a gargantuan lead. These guys can't do anything compared to our leaders, Corbin Forrester and Tails. Tight competition between them, however, as we are going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will go NASCAR Nonstop, presented by Benadryl, and we'll see you in a moment.
Hey, do you like buying things? Of course you do! Hey, do you like t-shirts? Of course you do! Do you like buying t-shirts? Who doesn't love buying t-shirts? And what better way to signify the fact that you love buying t-shirts than buying one of my t-shirts? Yay! So what are you waiting for? Head on over and then you can go to that website there, right there. You can read it right here. Look at it. Just go there and you can get yourself a t-shirt. Son, enjoy the video.
Today's presentation of NASCAR Cheez Cup Series action is presented to you by EA Sports. It used to be in the game, but now it really isn't anymore.
Welcome back to the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K from Phoenix International Raceway. As you can see, we are under caution flag. We are going to rewind time and see exactly what it was that brought out the first caution of today's race. Corbin Forrester continues to lead over the unchanged top 5 running order that was going on beforehand. The pace car was already out at this point. And okay, let's see. Take it back through the field and let us see what brought out the first caution of the race today.
2 hours later.
So I'm not entirely certain what brought out the first caution of the day. But all I do know is that the caution is out. And there's not much we can do about that now. We will see if anyone is retired out of the race once they get back to green flag. But until then, only the thing that we can do is assume that it was a debris caution that brought out the yellow flag here today for the first time at Phoenix International Raceway. Corbin Forrester, a commanding lead over everyone else in this field today. Tails has been the only one that could possibly keep up with him this entire time. But those two have checked out against the field. We will see if Brad Pitt can do anything for these guys and see if he can potentially make up some spots here and take the lead. Corbin Forrester leads over Tails, Brad Pitt, David Bowie, your top four. Behind them is Tommy Joe Martins rounding out the top five, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in sixth. So as the pace car goes down, no one's out. So I'm assuming it's Bruce Willis who got into the wall that brought out a debris caution here today, but that is okay. The race is about to resume. Green flag is out for Corbin Forrester. Lap 14 is underway. Can anyone touch this number 24 today? Corbin Forrester and Tails make their way out further ahead of the field once again. They clearly have the dominant cars of this day. David Bowie with a look underneath Brad Pitt. Will it be enough to complete the pass? Does not appear to be the case. Arnold Schwarzenegger with a nice move underneath that number 44 of Tommy Joe Martins. They are side by side throughout the field. Jack Black has moved up into the 7th position. Bernie Sanders right behind them. The Bee Gees right behind them. And last week's winner, the number 9 of Sweet Tooth, in 10th place. Corbin Forrester continues to lead over the number 19 of Tails. David Bowie with another look underneath that number 46 of Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is very powerful on the outside line going through this corner. David Bowie is going to need to take a little bit of time and hope that there are some changes to the racetrack to be able to allow him to make that move on the number 46 car. David Bowie keeps looking, and he is now underneath that number 46. Can the pass finally be completed on that number 46 car, Brad Pitt? Brad Pitt powerful in the early stages of today's race. And there goes the number 78 of David Bowie. Underneath the number 44 of Tommy Joe Martins is that number 1 car of Arnold Schwarzenegger, looking to get into the top 5 today. Behind him is the number 6 of Bernie Sanders underneath Tommy Joe Martins as well. Tommy Joe Martins falling back along with the number 95, Jack Black. Sweet Tooth makes a move underneath that number 44. And the field strings itself out once again. Side-by-side action here in the back. Our points leader, Keanu Reeves, looking to make up a couple of more spots. He is currently in the 30s. That is not spelling good things for his points lead here today. Keanu Reeves is going to really have to hope that he makes some magic during pit road cycles to be sure to be able to make his way up through the field once again to the lead. But don't worry about Keanu Reeves, because I know I wouldn't. Keanu Reeves has proven to be one of the more powerful cars as races goes along. He and his crew chief appear to have fantastic late race chemistry. Number 78 of David Bowie has finally caught up to the number 19 of Tails, the first car that's been able to challenge our front 2 drivers the entirety of this event. Impressive showing by that number 78. Corbin Forrester, on the other hand, has checked out to a phenomenal 2.5 it looks like lead over that number 19 of Tails. David Bowie in 3rd, Brad Pitt to 4th, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is in 5th. Rounding out your top 10 are Bernie Sanders, Tommy Joe Martins, Sweet Tooth, John Popper, and Phil Collins. Phil Collins had a pretty good start, but he fell back early. Can he catch back up to this field? He's done a pretty good job of maintaining his top 10 position over the course of today's race as John Popper makes a little look of a move and completes the pass underneath the 9 of Sweet Tooth. Phil Collins down to take advantage of Sweet Tooth's error in allowing him past. The top 10 are single file for the most part at the moment. Corbin Forrester continues to lead over Tails. David Bowie is right there, however. Bowie could very well get past that number 19 and look to make a charge on that number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Fantastic racing so far early in this race. Let's take it to the rear of the field as Benjamin Franklin is rounding out the field at the moment. Excuse me, I did not want that. Susan Boyle right ahead. Susan Boyle not having a great season. She's going to have to hope to get some better finishes. Otherwise, Premium Motorsports might want to look into getting a different driver, as unlikely as it is. That would probably be a little pointless. It's not Susan Boyle's fault. That car is crap. But that's not the point. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, who got into the wall early, bringing out our first caution, is currently about to be passed and probably end up in the dead last position as Corbin Forrester continues to lead out front. And he's held the lead over that number 19 of Tails, but I think Tails has been catching up over this run. David Bowie is right there too. I believe that Tails and David Bowie are working better together than they were when they were beating and banging trying to get past each other. Them working together now has allowed them to catch up closer to that checked out number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Exciting racing action here today at Phoenix International Raceway in this, the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K. Race number 3 of the 2016 or 17 NASCAR Cheez-It Cup Series season here at Phoenix. Tails and David Bowie starting to fall back a little bit now. Let's take you through the field once again. Corbin Forrester has led every single lap here today. Restarts couldn't keep him down. The start couldn't keep him down. And he has been checked out against this entire field, the entire race. Fantastic showing by the number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Same for the driver immediately behind him, number 19, driven by Tails. Fantastic races by both of these drivers. Tails has been right there behind Corbin Forrester, ready to pounce should that number 24 make a mistake going into a corner or out of a corner or something of that description. David Bowie up to 3rd place in that number 78. Didn't start the greatest, but he is up to 3rd place and is battling these leaders, ready to strike if either of them should make a mistake. Next in line is Arnold Schwarzenegger in the number 1 car. Has had a rough season thus far, but it appears that he has taken back what is rightfully his, and that is, who knows? Only Arnold Schwarzenegger knows. Bernie Sanders is in the number 4th of positions. 5th, I mean. Just getting underneath the number 46 of Brad Pitt. Bernie Sanders hasn't had the greatest of seasons so far. He's looking to turn that around with a great finish here today at Phoenix. Next in line is Brad Pitt. And the epitome of a bad season is definitely this number 46 of Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt looked like he had a powerful car at the end of the Daytona race, the What the Fuck 500 at the start of the season. Unfortunately, he fell out of the draft and fell a lap down early. So having a late race power was not enough for Brad Pitt. Next week at California, he had a unfortunate showing there as well. But Brad Pitt now in the 6th position, looking to compensate for the issues that he has had early on in the 2016 or 17 NASCAR Cheez-It Cup Series season. Phil Collins immediately behind, looking to make a move on the number 46 of Brad Pitt. Phil Collins has had a quiet season, cobbling together a couple of points here and there, but a top 10 finish will do numbers to increase that number 14's position in the point standings. Phil Collins looking to make it rain down here today at Phoenix. Tommy Joe Martin's almost rounding out the top 10, driving that number 44 Golden Corral car. If that car finishes in the top 10, then you can eat free at Golden Corral if you're under the age of 12. Fantastic campaign on that number 44 Tommy Joe Martin's car. Tommy Joe Martin's nestled nicely in the top 10 at the moment. Right behind him is the number 51 of John Popper. Also having a pretty quiet season, John Popper has been collecting as many points as he can over the course of the 2016 or 17. What the fuck? Fuck. Cheez-It Cup Series season. He is in the 9th place, and rounding out the top 10 is the number 95 of Jack Black, having a fantastic race. Not the greatest of seasons yet so far. But, He's got to be happy where he is right now. The battle for the lead is starting to heat up. Tails looks like he may have gotten that number 24, Corbin Forrester, loose. It is a three-way battle for the lead here at Phoenix International Raceway, the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K. Underneath the 24 is that number 19 of Tails. Tails looks like he has the advantage at the moment. They are side by side coming out, but Corbin gets a miraculous shot himself out of the cannon, but it's not going to be enough. Tails takes the lead over a dominant Corbin Forrester as David Bowie strikes along with him. Corbin Forrester, who led the entire race up until lap 32, is now falling back to third place after David Bowie makes the pass along with Tails, your new 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K race leader. Pit stops should be on the horizon, so we will take another quick commercial break, and you won't miss a thing with NASCAR Nonstop, sponsored by Benadryl. We'll see you in a minute.
Every day, more than 5,000 pounds of Cheez-Its are wasted by people who are too careless to seal their bags back up, which in turn causes the Cheez-Its to go soft. Right now, families around the world are throwing away their wasted Cheez-Its that could have been consumed by someone else who wasn't so cruel. Things like this may seem too much to watch, or too difficult to solve, but you can help right now from your home. Call 1-866-CHEEZ-IT to contact the Cheez-It Help Hotline and donate to our cause to save the wasted Cheez-Its. You can help out our cause and change the world for the far better, one box of Cheez-Its at a time. Please, call right now and we will send you a photo of a box of Cheez-Its that you helped save with your donation.
Today's presentation of Cheez-It Cup Series action is presented by Arm & Hammer Baking Soda. For some reason, keeping this in your fridge will make things stay fresh longer. And by Geico. 15 minutes will essentially save you the same amount of money on car insurance.
Welcome back to some more NASCAR Cheez-It Cup Series action as the number 78 of David Bowie is taking the lead for the first time out from underneath that number 19 of Tails, and Corbin Forrester along with him, along for the ride to potentially make a great finish coming up in here in the near future. Tails held the lead for 5 laps after taking it from Corbin Forrester, who now takes over the second place. David Bowie out in the lead for the first time in the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K at Phoenix International Raceway. These 3 cars have been under a blanket ever since the restart earlier after Bruce Willis got into the wall, bringing out a debris caution, but these 3 drivers have not been able to stay away from each other. When one makes a pass, so does the other, and this action up front has only been heating up even more. Corbin Forrester immediately behind the number 78 of David Bowie now, looking to potentially get that lead back once again. Let's take you back through the field once again here at Phoenix International Raceway. In 4th behind, way behind all of this action up front is Arnold Schwarzenegger. 5th place is now Phil Collins, moving his way up early here in this race. We're nearing the halfway mark. I think right now, actually. Yes, this is halfway right now. Perfect. Bernie Sanders in the number 6 is right behind Phil Collins, looking to have another good race here today. Jack Black right behind them. John Popper is in the 8th place. Side-by-side battle between Tommy Joe Martins and Brad Pitt in the number 46 to determine the 10th place as Sweet Tooth watches from behind in 11th. Brad Pitt may have hit the wall coming out of that corner. Bee Gees are in 12th right now. Mary Poppins in 13th. What If Racing in 14th, and Trent Reznor rounds out your top 15. Next in line is Justin Allgaier. Then it's Busta Rhymes, Jesus Christ himself, Jake from State Farm, and Aaron Carter. The field is pretty well strung out at the moment. Very few battles out throughout the entirety of this field. Currently, your points leader in this coming into Phoenix, Keanu Reeves, rides in the 27th position. Unlikely he'll be able to keep his points lead should he finish in the 27th position. And rounding out the field is Benjamin Franklin in number 13. Still leading this race is David Bowie with Corbin Forrester right behind. Incredible action up front as these three cars have been battling this entire race. Fantastic drives by all three drivers. David Bowie's led for about 3-4 laps now. Corbin Forrester currently has the most laps led in this race locked down. Corbin Forrester led for a good 20-30 laps before finally being passed by Tails, who was finally passed by that number 78 of David Bowie. The action only going to heat up further. Pit stops on the horizon. Phil Collins has made his move on that number 1 of Arnold Schwarzenegger up into the 4th of positions. As Bernie Sanders watches from behind, Jack Black in 7th, John Popper in 8th, and still side by side, this battle between Tommy Joe Martins and Brad Pitt has only gotten more intense as the laps have run on. It appears that they may or may not be possibly holding up that number 9 of Sweet Tooth. How long will Sweet Tooth wait until he runs out of patience with these two drivers ahead of him? Tommy Joe Martin secures the position for now, and Brad Pitt falls back. Sweet Tooth with the look underneath that number 46 of Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt currently rounds out the top 10. Let's take it back to the front as Corbin Forrester has fallen off that number 78 of David Bowie. David Bowie continues to lead here in the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K from Phoenix International Raceway. Fantastic showing by these three drivers at the moment. Further back through the field, we see Justin Allgaier and What If Racing battling it out for about 13th. What If Racing's teammate, Mary Poppins, on the outside, looking to potentially be trying to push Justin Allgaier into a higher line so both drivers could get through. What If Racing side by side with that number 22 of Justin Allgaier. Trent Reznor looking from behind, still in a substitution role. However, with the amount of races that Trent Reznor has done and the great points position that he is in at the current moment, Richie Birkenhead could potentially look at keeping that number 83 car in the possession of Trent Reznor. Trent Reznor could potentially push for a championship with this powerful showing that he's been showing lately. Justin Allgaier with a move on the Bee Gees to move up some more spots now. Justin Allgaier is currently nestled in the 12th position. What If Racing is back behind him again. Could this get a little bit rough as we take you back up front? David Bowie continues to lead over Corbin Forrester. Corbin Forrester has managed to catch back up to the number 78 of David Bowie. But it's been all David Bowie for the past 5-6 laps. Excellent racing by those guys. Rounding out the field is still Benjamin Franklin. Barack Obama right in the back there, who had a powerful showing at California last week, is not going to be too happy. Smoke up front. Brock Lesnar appears to have blown an engine here. That car is destroyed. What happened to the number 48 of Brock Lesnar? That is a Hendrick motor inside of that car. The race will continue to be green somehow. Interesting. But Brock Lesnar appears to have blown an engine here. No caution, though, apparently. Corbin Forrester is immediately behind that number 78 of David Bowie now. We still have the looming pit stop sequence. Should be coming up any time now. David Bowie leads over Corbin Forrester, and this is a tight battle between two very talented drivers with excellent equipment. Tails looks on from behind. Could these two screw up each other and let that number 19 of Tails come in and swoop back into the lead once again? These three drivers have been the class of the field all day in this, the third race of the 2016 or 17 Cheez-It Cup Series season. Bruce Willis rounds out the field now as CM Punk has fallen into second to last. Right behind that number 13 of Benjamin Franklin. Brock Lesnar continues to sit on pit road. A sad, sad showing. But the danger zone looming potentially for that number 24 of Corbin Forrester. He too has a Hendrick Motorsports engine underneath that hood. Could there be a potential issue for that number 24 who has been so dominant this day? David Bowie continues to lead. Up to fourth is that number 14 of Phil Collins. A late race restart could play into the favor of Phil Collins, who appears to have a great long run car. He has moved up from the mid 15th place or so, midfield, all the way up to fourth since this race has begun. Fifth place is Arnold Schwarzenegger, followed by that number 6 of Bernie Sanders, Jack Black in 7th, John Popper in 8th, Tommy Joe Martin's in 9th, and Sweet Tooth has finally made the pass on Brad Pitt to round out the top 10. Justin Allgaier has also made his way past that number 46 of Brad Pitt. As we look further through the field, What If Racing in the 13th place, followed by his teammate, Mary Poppins, followed by her teammate, their teammate, everyone's teammate, Jesus Christ himself, who is battling with the Bee Gees at the moment. Behind him is that number 83 of Trent Reznor. Moving our way back up to the front, David Bowie has checked out against Corbin Forrester and Tails now. Exciting action up at the front and all through the field here in today's race. I find it incredible how there wasn't a caution flag when that number 48 of Brock Lesnar's engine expired. He was just sitting there out of the way, I guess. And I suppose that was enough for Cheez-It Cup Series officials to waving the red, right, checkered, some color flag to throw out a caution. They must have got him scooted out of the way safely. There must have been no fluids on the track, which is even surprising-er. But for now, that number 78 of David Bowie is leading over that number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Corbin Forrester had fallen back, but is now right back behind the number 78 of David Bowie. We could potentially see these two duke it out before this race concludes. Tails sits right behind them. Probably Phil Collins still in fourth, indeed. Bernie Sanders has made the pass for fifth off of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jack Black is in seventh. John Popper is in eighth. And Tommy Joe Martins looks to be trying to take over that eighth spot, but he sits in ninth at the moment. Sweet Tooth is in 10th, rounding out the top 10. Right behind him is Justin Allgaier. Little action through the field at the moment. Keanu Reeves has made his way up to the 24th position, our points leader going into this race. Probably not the race that he was looking to have here today. Corbin Forrester has made his move underneath that number 78 of David Bowie. Corbin Forrester is underneath, still side by side as they come through 4. 20 laps to go at the line, and they are still side by side. David Bowie using the outside line to his advantage, but it is not going to be enough. Corbin Forrester has taken the lead once again. Never mind, David Bowie is still side by side with that number 24. Could this play into Tails' favor? See him already coming into the picture in the back there. David Bowie has been holding his line on the outside. That thing is powerful. Corbin is going to want to hope to stay ahead of that number 78. Otherwise, it is very likely that he'll be unable to get past him again, or at least underneath him. Corbin Forrester finally completes the pass on the number 78 of David Bowie, but the damage is done. Tails has caught back up to these two. And 3 cars are back under a blanket once again for the lead of this race. In this, the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K from Phoenix International Raceway. David Bowie back underneath the number 24 of Corbin Forrester, but now Corbin Forrester is taking advantage of David Bowie's outside line. He powers out through turn 4 and secures that top spot once again. Excellent racing up front between these two very talented drivers. Let's take you back through the field once again. Phil Collins in 4th, Bernie Sanders and Arnold Schwarzenegger continue to battle for 5th place. Jack Black and Tommy Joe Martins, who has gotten past that number 51 of John Popper, all the way up to try and challenge that number 95 of Jack Black. Justin Allgaier has also gotten past the 51 of John Popper now, as they are side by side for just outside the top 10 now. Exciting racing here in the back of the field. Teammates, What If Racing and Mary Poppins try to get past that number 9 of Sweet Tooth. Let's take it back up front as Corbin Forrester is checked out against David Bowie and Tails. The race is nearly concluded. At the line, it will be 16 laps to go. But David Bowie has chomped up that margin that Corbin Forrester held for the lead. He must have not gotten through that corner very well, because David Bowie is right back up there again. David Bowie is not going to let this race go away that easily. Corbin Forrester lets him go, as here comes Tails to try and take the lead himself again. Corbin Forrester powers along on the outside line, but it isn't going to be enough. David Throwy goes up to goes up to block, but Corbin Forrester is now underneath the number 78 David Bowie once again, but that is not the preferred line going into turn 1 and 2. Corbin Forrester falls back as David Bowie checks out. Intense racing action here in the closing laps of the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K presented by the NASCAR Cheez Cup Series. Will there be pit stops? Will there be an exciting finish? Most likely is the answer to both of those questions. We will take one last commercial break here, and we will return to this battle in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
They help thousands, they'll help you too. One lump sum of cash they will pay to you. If you get long-term payments but you need cash now,
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
877 cash now.
877 cash now. 877 cash now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. Call now.
Today's presentation of NASCAR Cheez Cup Series Racing is presented by Subway. Eat here because Quiznos was too busy.
Welcome back. 11 laps to go here in the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K at Phoenix International Raceway. You saw it under NASCAR Nonstop. Corbin Forrester was passed by Tails, but Tails got past Corbin Forrester, and then Corbin Forrester got past Tails again. Basically, the point is, Phil Collins is up in the mix now. That number 14 on the long run has been the fastest car consistently on the track. These top 3 drivers have been untouchable all day until now. That number 14 of Phil Collins is going to look to make this race a little bit more interesting as we come into the closing laps. 10 to go, 9 to go at the line. David Bowie continues to lead over the number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Tails is in third, being challenged by Phil Collins. 4 cars under a blanket for the lead. You have to go back to Bernie Sanders to find 5th place. Arnold Schwarzenegger in 6th, Jack Black in 7th, and Tommy Joe Martins is in 8th place. Justin Allgaier in 9th, and John Popper rounds out the top 10 with a hard-charging Mary Poppins and Jesus Christ himself right behind. 3 Hendrick cars, nose to tail, in 11th, 12th, and 13th. Brad Pitt is in 14th, Aaron Carter is in 15th, and last week's winner, Sweet Tooth, is in 16th. Back up to the front we go, as Phil Collins has been trying to desperately get past the number 19 of Tails. It is clear that Phil Collins definitely has a car that can win this race if he can just get past that number 19. Corbin Forrester looked like he was going to be trying to make a move there at the end of turn 2. But it wasn't enough to get past the number 78 of David Bowie. Bowie continues to lead. Phil Collins still trapped behind that number 19. He is going to need to hope for a miracle to get past that number 19 and get up and challenge for the lead of this race. Corbin Forrester tries and potentially get into a bump and run situation with that number 78 of David Bowie. But it is not enough. Phil Collins starts to fall back. Tails starts to pull up. Ironically, even though he's wearing diapers, he's starting to pull up. So he's a big kid now. Oh, hello. Jesus Christ himself is heading down pit road, and it looks like late race pit stops have finally begun. Didn't think we were going to get that in for a while. But David Bowie, just as we're about to start our pit road sequence, has caught up to the tail end of the field. Could this throw a monkey wrench into his charge to win his first career Cheez-It Cup Series race in this, the 3rd race of the 2016 or 17 season? The tail end of the field has been caught, and David Bowie continues to lead over Corbin Forrester. 3rd place is Tails, and Phil Collins is caught back up. Jesus Christ himself went down pit road. I don't know if he actually had an issue or what. He is coming out of pit road now. It is unknown whether or not that was a scheduled stop. It's starting to look like it wasn't a scheduled stop. But Jesus Christ is holding up the field right now. Jesus Christ looks like he's holding up our leader at the moment. Could this potentially be team orders by Rick Hendrick, to potentially help Corbin Forrester secure a win here today at Phoenix International Raceway? 3 to go at the line. 3.5 laps remain in this, the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K at Phoenix International Raceway. Corbin Forrester has re-caught that number 78 of David Bowie. The number 88 of Jesus Christ himself is making it tough to get by. 3 to go at the line. David Bowie takes it going in here. Bruce Willis is a lap down, but Tails is looking to try and get past that number 24 of Corbin Forrester. Which way is that lap car going to go? Phil Collins taking a look underneath the number 24 of Corbin Forrester, and our top 3 is finally, after all this time, going to change. Phil Collins moves up to 3rd, Tails into 2nd, but David Bowie is way out ahead of all of these drivers. Jesus Christ, with the better tires, has gotten the better of David Bowie, but it doesn't matter because he's in the lead. It's going to be tough for anyone to catch David Bowie now. That number 78 is going to enter lap 78 and probably leaves lap 78 with the lead. Phil Collins desperately trying to get past that number 19 has been impossible for him to do. If he'd gotten by earlier, potentially he could have put a race-winning charge together, but it's going to be too late. Phil Collins finally gets past the number, well, side by side at least, with the number 19 of Tails. Phil Collins moves by, but it is all David Bowie's race at the moment. David Bowie going through the dog leg behind them. Phil Collins takes that position from Tails at last. Corbin Forrester falls to 4th, but it's not going to be enough for any of them. David Bowie, he may have died in January of last year, but it's all okay now, as he is going to win the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K at Phoenix International Raceway. An excellent drive by that number 78 of David Bowie. Taking home second is Phil Collins. Third place is Tails. Fourth place, so powerful early on, but unable to finish this race off, is fourth place is Corbin Forrester. Bernie Sanders rounds out the top 5. Arnold Schwarzenegger takes home 7th. Jack Black takes 7th. Tommy Joe Martins finishes in 8th place. Kids under 12 eat free at Golden Corral this week. Justin Allgaier takes home a nice top 10 and 9th, and Mary Poppins rounds out your top 10. 11th will be that number 51 of John Popper. Behind him is What If Racing. Then we have Brad Pitt, Sweet Tooth, Aaron Carter, Trent Reznor, Buster Rhymes, Bee Gees, Vin Diesel, Dale Earnhardt from 1970, Jake from State Farm, Slim Shady. Our points leader, Keanu Reeves, finishes in 23rd, so it's unlikely that he is going to be completing, remaining in that points lead. However, we will calculate that in a moment. But for now, it's time for David Bowie to celebrate his win here today at Phoenix International Raceway. Phil Collins, so close yet so far away to getting a win, finishes second. Thank you all so much for joining us here today for the 2004 Pontiac Sunfire 500K from Phoenix International Raceway. And we will see you in our next presentation here on Kamikaze Game Sports Network. See you later, everyone. Excuse me, bitch, could you hold your fucking horses? Could you hold your horses? No! No! Are you shitting me? Really? What? Are you shitting me? Are you fucking